Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tribal Council. Why, yes, that is the yellow Fahi tribe you see behind me, filing in as well.
All right, Fahi, come on in.
I was like, oh, winter cup. Yeah. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was Eagle Scout. I was like, oh, I like it.
All right, and entering shortly, we have Kyle, Jazzy, Dion, Ned, Alicia, Albie, Kaylee, and Kendall.
All right. Let's see. Who do I want to start with? Jazzy's not making eye contact with me. Got there.
Glasses.
Jazzy, I feel like you've been bounced around a couple banishments, obviously the tribe swaps. How much has your frequent movement, have you viewed it as a benefit? You've been able to meet a lot of people, or has it been a detriment in that you haven't really been able to build kind of a consistent group?
I think a little bit of both. I to me, I feel a little bit like a pawn in a way. Like, keep putting me on the other tribe, hoping that that helps like their physical abilities, like in challenges, and so that kind of sucks. But it's nice to get to know everybody. Like, I finally got to be on a tribe with Ned. He's like the last person I wasn't on a tribe with. It's nice to get to know everybody. I think it's hard because it's like, wow, Jazzy's talking to everybody. Of course I am. I keep moving tribes, so that's kind of hard optics wise. Um, I would say it's 50-50, a little bit of a detriment, but a little bit of a help as well.
Okay. On the flip side, Dion, you actually utilize the banishment blocker to stay on this tribe. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that decision making. I know you had talked about liking where you landed up after coming back into the game, but at the same time, you're giving up that round of immunity, right?
Yeah, I kind of I had to think about it, and I wasn't sure if it was worth going to another tribe for one round of immunity when I have no connections with anybody there. Um, I would say like in a positive way, because a majority of the people that I was with in the game prior to coming back, they voted me out. So frankly, I know that they've already been willing to do it once. They may very likely do it again. So I'm going to hedge my bets on this tribe rather than the gamble of going over there.
I think that makes a lot of sense to me. Sorry, I was just a little distracted by the everyone over there. Kyle, I'll jump to you. Last tribal, I think you made it clear that you felt a little bit in danger. Do you feel like you're even in more danger this time, or you were able to change kind of your fate?
I hope I was able to change my fate. I definitely know my name was out there. I played it last time because I was like, I'd rather just make it one more round, see what happens. Maybe it was the wrong decision, but I'm putting trust into people and hopefully that pays off. And we'll kind of see once the votes come out. But I meant what I said to everybody who talked to me.
Yeah. Okay. Albie, aside from Alan, you're the last remaining member of season one in the cast. Do you feel like there's been a concerted effort to try to eliminate specific casts or anything like that?
That would be surprising to me. Um, it might be that it could be that certain casts are sticking together. And I think season one we've been out of it for so long that that wasn't our mindset. So I hope other people have season one mindset and realize that people on your cast are not going to get you to the end, and you could sit with people on your cast and not get the win. You have to look at other options, especially with this game and all these crazy twists.
Yeah, that's a good point. Alicia, when Barry went out, and we've heard a few players say this throughout the course of the week. Calling out the rest of the tribe for playing it safe, for not making big moves, for maybe going with the wrong group of people. How do you kind of internalize that as people are going out? Does that make you kind of change your strategy or readdress kind of how you're going about things?
Not totally. I mean, I can't blame anyone who says something like that because from the outside looking in, maybe it looks safe or it looks whatever, and it looks like I'm just playing it that way or anyone around me. But ultimately, like everyone has their own game, and everyone has their what's best for them individually, and it's different for everybody. Like there are currently, I don't know how many paths to the end sitting with us right now, 8. So there's 8 different options and it looks different for everyone. And sometimes it doesn't include people, even if we love them. You know, like I cried voting him out, but just doesn't suit the game at this point.
Yeah. Kendall, I mean, I feel like there are probably people that came into this game saying, I will never put this person's name down. Do you feel like people have started to kind of go back on that now that the reality of the different tribe swaps and things like that have come into play?
I think people have already been doing that. I think if you look at the original Red Tribe, I mean, the Nina vote out was huge. There's a lot of people on that tribe that I thought would never vote Nina out. So I think we're well past that. For people who think they might have some kind of relationship with someone and says one thing and does another. So I don't know. This is all stars. So I guess people are just being ruthless.
Yeah. Ned, a lot of whispering from you in the back row so far this tribal council. Are there things still up in the air?
No.
Or just quick clarifications you feel like you need to make?
I'll make them later.
Okay. Kaylee, another kind of way that we could look at this tribe is there are 4 members of the Great Mountain on this tribe, which is a perfect or perfect split, 50-50. Was that a voting block that you felt was coming together at all?
Honestly and transparently, no. Not for right now, not for this vote, not on our radar. I think we've all understood that that number is incredibly dangerous actually. And we've all made authentic relationships to avoid that stigma and try to make sure that we have plenty of options moving forward. It's not that I don't respect the 3 of them. I really do, and I think they respect my game too. But it's a matter of this is a new game, and we can't rely on relationships from 4 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Well said. Feels like 4 years ago.
A lifetime ago in Survivor.
All right. Unless anyone else has anything to say, we'll get to the vote. Sounds good. Kyle, we'll get started.
All right, let's head on out. Oh, nope. You would think after 4 days I would know which button to push when, but alas. Devontae says, I want a live tribal. Yeah, no kidding. I feel like they're teasing us with live tribals, but perhaps they're saving those for like day 5. Who knows? Um, anyway, all right. So I was listening to their answers and like gonna tell you stuff about that too. And then I think I blacked out. So thankfully I have my little tea time notebook. I'm sure it will jog my memory, but here we go. All right. So was this the page? Okay, yes. Oh, that's right. This is what I wanted to say. So, okay. So let's talk about okay. So let's talk about Dion, because Dion said something at tribal council that was interesting. Dion, if you'll remember, blocked being banished off the Fahi tribe. With a special like banish blocker power and elected to stay. Well, as we found out last tea time with Fahi, there was a majority 6 alliance. Dion, one of 3 people on the minority, and one of them went home, leaving only Dion and Kyle not in the majority alliance. So it should be no surprise to you that Dion and Kyle are again 2 of the 3 targets currently on this tribe. So unfortunately, Dion was saying that they would hedge their bets with this group because they didn't feel close to the other group, and perhaps I'm hoping, they take it, but as they say, the wins. So who knows? Dion, speaking of the Great Mountain, that discussion that was just happening with Kaylee, Dion is kind of feeling this tug, like the Great Mountain. So apparently, I think Kaylee might be lying about like, oh no, we're not playing. We're like, we have our own stuff, because both Kaylee and Kendall approached Dion and said that they were going to be voting for Kyle and would Dion please join them. So Dion is trying to figure out, like, do I trust these people? They just said in tribal council, like, they voted me out once, they'll do it again. And those are 2 of the people that voted them out. So Dion really struggling here between like but do I trust them now? And there's been a theme of like, this is a new game. It's like that like push and pull between like, this is a new game, but there is a history, but this is a new game, but like that happened. So I think the most successful players so far in this game have like really leaned into the all stars game of it, and not dwelled too much on the past. But we will see. So okay, that's Dion. So on the, let's see, where do I want to start? Oh, oh, I was wrong. I don't know why. I mean, I wasn't wrong, but I was, because also I heard that Kaylee um has also heard Dion's name, and Kaylee is in a very good spot and with almost everyone, or at least has relationships, and that's how Kaylee's played this entire game. Like Kaylee really has left her options open, like she talked about at Tribal Council, and therefore she's in a good spot here. She's heard from people that like Dion will be the easy vote, so she knows that's an option. But I think, oh, so I lied about lying. But sorry, y'all. I prepped for this in 11 minutes, which is about one third of the time I normally get. So this is not my best work, but this is really exciting, and I have like a whoa kind of a thing. Anyway, so okay, yeah. So Dion might be the easy vote, but Keely's hoping perhaps to like shift it on to Kyle along with Kendall and Dion, as we said. Although Kaylee is kind of side eyeing because she's worried about a potentially old Fahi coming together, because there are 4 old Fahi on this tribe currently in Kendall, Dion, Kyle, and Jazzy. So I think she's hoping to get either Dion or Kyle out to eliminate one of those 4 Fahi. Speaking of the 4 Fahi, let's talk about. Sorry, there's like definitely some rustling in the bush. Let's talk about Kendall. She was super sad that Jordan was voted out last tribal council. Kendall and Jordan are best friends in real life, and played their first game together back in season 2. And Jordan, like, so not only is she really sad about that, she's also a little stressed and concerned and confused, because she thought Jordan was in a really good spot on his tribe and then he left. And so she's worried that now that, like, well, he's like, he left, am I next? Because, I thought I was in a good spot. And she's like, she doesn't really understand the reason he was voted out. And she's worried, well, what if that reason affects me too? And she's right to be worried, because people were worried about season 2 players. And while Kendall is here representing the Great Mountain, season 5, she did also play season 2. Um, let's see. Also, speaking of Kendall, she has been really close with Kyle this whole time. But I think now that is like in a game sense fading, because now both of them are saying that they would be okay voting each other out and they don't have to like totally stick to each other. Um, let's see. So, okay, let's talk about Kyle, because this is fun. So Kyle, people are eyeing him as a very scary player and former winner. And like, let me tell you, they should be scared, because Kyle, this tribal council is going for Dion. And their plan to like get the vote onto Dion is to blame Dion for Kyle's own throwaway vote at Ned last tribal. So if you were vote counting, there was a vote for Ned that didn't make sense. Kyle did it. Kyle is about to go to Ned and blame that vote on Dion to try and get Ned to vote Dion with him. Speaking of Ned, Ned is also another target that Jassy is going for, because Ned has an idol. If you'll remember from the Predator Prey advantage when Ben was voted out, so Ned got the idol. And apparently, every single round, he keeps saying that he's going to use the idol, he's going to use the idol, and people are getting tired of him saying that over and over again. And so finally, they're like, okay, well, maybe we just flush the idol, or like maybe we get him out. I don't know. Which is interesting, because Ned had, like, since Ned got banished rounds and rounds and rounds ago, Ned really has not been a name that's ever been on the block. And now I'm wondering if it's because he's been protecting himself the whole time by reminding everyone of the idol. So I think that's a really cool use of the idol. It's almost like I don't know if it's like intimidation, but it's like something. It's like it's all-star behavior is what it is. Let's see. Um Okay, yes. So, if you'll remember, also several rounds ago, there was a super tight like group of 6 on this tribe, but thanks to all of like the banishments and swaps and this and that, we are now left with only Albie, Kaylee, and Alicia of that group of 6. Now, Albie is still feeling super close to Kaylee and Alicia, but does have his eye on them because they both are making really good connections elsewhere, and he's noticing that, and so he's just which he's right to notice that. Kaylee, as we know, has tons of connections. And speaking of Alicia, you haven't heard much about her this round because she decided she's playing a little too hard. She's been a big decision maker in a lot of these votes. And so she was like, you know what? Let me like try and reduce my threat level a little. Let me like listen to others this round and like, and not be the one driving the decision. Let me make something, happen. Let me be a player in that, but let me take a back seat here. So I think, a really good idea. Managing your threat level amongst the threats. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and apparently, so speaking of Albie, Alicia, and Kaylee, they were the ones that came to Kendall and said like, "Hey, why don't you vote Kyle?" So, and Jazzy, really fast. I know we mentioned her earlier, but this is good to know. So, Jazzy was thrilled that she got banished after like finding that idol very publicly at Tribal Council. So she's like, oh, well, now I'm banished, so I'm safe now. And now I'm safe next tribal council because I have an idol. And when she got banished, remember, Kendall got banished first, and then Jazzy came over this next round. And so Kendall was claiming, or I'm sorry, Jazzy was claiming to Kendall that Lauren banished Kendall to save her, and that and voted out Jordan to like also save her so that she wouldn't have to worry about like like whatever reason he went home. But she is not trusting that story at all. So, yeah. All right. Well, we did pretty good work there just now. I turned it around. Okay. All right. And
All right. I have the votes. Before I get to them, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play one, now would be the time to do so.
I'm just over holding it.
You're playing this for
For
yourself?
nice.
Ned. This is a hidden immunity idol. No votes cast against Ned will count. I'll get to the votes. First vote. Ned.
Yeah.
Does not count. Second vote. Kyle. Third vote. Dion. Fourth vote. Kyle. Fifth vote. Kyle. Sixth vote. And the next person voted out of Can You Survive All Stars? Kyle. That's 4. That's enough. Kyle, for the first time, I'm sorry to say, the tribe has spoken. All right, Fahi, we will have you filter out this way and get back to the challenge field.
all right, Fahi will be heading on over to the challenge field, and we will be too, because we will be bringing you yet another challenge, and we are excited. We're going to try and keep things moving as best as we can from here on out. So keep those notifications on, and we will be back very soon.